Deep within the Sierra Madre canyons of northern Mexico, the Tarahumara Indians leap and maneuver through rock and sand with superhuman agility and endurance. For thousands of years, the Tarahumara, or Raramuri, meaning the running people, have developed an extraordinary capacity for pain and exercise, able to run hundreds of miles in less than 2 days. In fact, one such runner has even accomplished the feat of trekking 438 miles in just over 48 hours. To put that into perspective, most of the world considers the marathon, 26.2 miles, to be one of the toughest feats one can accomplish as a human. Participants train for months with disciplined schedules, diets, and workouts in order to maximize their performance on race day, after which almost every runner feels immense pain. But for the Tarahumara, training and diet are foreign concepts. They run when they want and they eat how they want, with nothing but close to paper-thin rubber slabs to protect their feet from the earth. Year-round, their diet consists of little more than ground corn and ale, with the occasional inclusion of barbecued mouse. After a night of eating and aggressive drinking of their traditional corn beer, with partying, of course, they wake up hollering and laughing, hitting the starting line and starting running for 48 hours without a second thought. While this would absolutely destroy our bodies, a combination of environment, genetics, and cultural practice has strengthened the Tarahumara body to unknown levels. For thousands of years, the Tarahumara successfully evaded foreigners and kept out of the spotlight. Repeated exposure to conquistadors, drug cartels, and other threats has driven the running people away from society and encouraged a very anti-foreigner, bashful outlook on the world. However, in the last decade, the Tarahumara have gained rapid recognition on a global scale. While a select few had been aware of their existence before, they only gained exposure when, in 2009, Christopher McDougall published his book Born to Run, about a tribe and their superhuman capabilities. Since then, many anthropologists and runners alike have sought out the people characterized by McDougall as the kindest, happiest people on the planet, in order to study their traditions and biological history, in addition to learning whatever the Tarahumara could teach them, which, given the largely biological nature of their skills and their aversion to foreigners, did not involve much. However, the global recognition has nonetheless drawn many people to the Sierra Madre Mountains, noticeably increasing Mexico's tourism rates in an unexpected part of the country. This exposure has not come without cost. The increased tourism and awareness have brought more settlers to the region and made the canyons more accessible than they ever has been. Um, as a result, the drug cartels in Mexico have in recent years enlisted the Tarahumara to run backpacks of drugs across the border on treks that any normal human would not survive. In examining the effects of these cartels, I have used several articles from the New York Times, Newsweek, and La Ficción, a popular newspaper in Mexico, as lenses through which to observe both the facts of the situation and the depiction of the Tarahumara's cultural practices. In the Newsweek article, the journalist Aram Roston uh, projects a very similar voice to that of Chris McDougall, depicting the Tarahumara as very kind-hearted, soft-spoken people with a deep love of running. Roston visited various Tarahumara settlements for the article, all of which reinforced the continued salience of their culture. His research ultimately concludes that while the drug trade physically exhausts the runners and provides them with dirty money, they ultimately go back to the usual flow of life afterwards, with customs, behavior, and running unaffected. However, an article from La Afición tells a different story. The traditional 80-kilometer or 50-mile race was canceled this year due to increased threats of drug violence in the region. Therefore, the drug cartels have directly impacted the salience and potential for the Tarahumara's traditions. But the story does not stop there. In addition to, in an attempt to help preserve the race, the government provided troops to stand guard on multiple parts of the course. While this seems like an altruistic, responsible gesture, the journalist makes the claim that the Mexican government's real motive was to preserve the high levels of tourism promoted by the race, which would have plummeted with the cancellation of the popular race, much like the country's tourism has in recent years. However, most runners opted out of participating this year out of continued fear for their safety. From these articles and the popularity of Born to Run, one can draw a few conclusions. First of all, McDougall's book undoubtedly sparked higher levels of interest in tourism in the region, creating pressure for the reclusive Tarahumara to perform on the expected levels. On top of that, the government's response to the drug violence reflects that the Mexican government has striven to manipulate the Tarahumara's skills and traditions for the sake of higher tourism, which has directly affected the tribe's perceptions of their safety and ability to participate in their beloved activity. From all angles, their traditions have been pulled and twisted, only inspiring hope within all that the Raramuri will be able to preserve the spirit that has kept them alive and happy for so long.